welcome to my review of True Detective Season 3, Episode 4, The Hour in the Day. It received a score of 9.0 on IMDb, and it was written by David Milch and Nick Pizzolatto and directed by Nick Pizzolatto. David Milch, the writer for NYPD Blue and Deadwood. And I think the first thing to point out is the racial conflict, the racial tension was highlighted in this episode, and because it was so strong, I have to feel that was the influence of David Milch on the screenplay, since he's the one element that's new. And I thought that it was presented in a way where there were enough gray areas that there were no heroes and villains. And even a scene like where Tom Purcell uses the N-word, immediately afterwards he expresses regret for saying it, and I feel it was real regret. And in some ways, the racist epithet that he uses, instead of just painting him to be a racist character, I think it highlighted the vulnerability and insecurity the character felt. And because we know that later that character seeks redemption through Christ, we can see that that character is nearing bottom and that there will be a turnaround for him. And in fact, later in the episode, what's his head? Roland West goes and gets him from the bar and lets him stay the night in his apartment. And we know that later he's part of the conversion, his not conversion to Christ, but reunification with Christ, his new relationship with Christ, I think comes from that. And I wanted to point out the scene between Amelia and Lucy Purcell, because in that scene, Mamie Gummer has a really thankless part. She has to give us an unsympathetic character breaking down, and we need to feel pity for this unsympathetic character. And it's a very interesting scene because while we are beginning to feel pity for her, we know Amelia is there to milk her for information. And when Lucy cottons onto that, we have to kind of sympathize with her for turning on Amelia in that moment. And for the mystery of the story, I have to feel that because we know that Lucy slept around on Tom, and that Julie may not be Tom's real biological daughter, that the person who kidnapped Lucy may be the biological father, and that father may be a person of means, because it seems like whoever pulled off the kidnapping had a lot of money to do it. And so it would also explain why Julie stayed disappeared for so long. If it was just some stranger that kidnapped her, we could expect her to try to escape from her captivity. But if it was her real father, and her real father was more caring for her than she, and offered more of a stable relationship than what she found in the home, where there was a lot of conflict between Lucy and Tom, then we can understand why Julie would want to just disappear. That's it. 3 minutes are done. So I hope you will join me again next time for episode 4. And until then, take care and be well.